What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment. I know it's been a while since I've dropped a video, but I'm back, ready to make some more consistent content, and I'm just going to be talking about something that I should have talked about, a few months ago. I know last video I made was back when we won the national championship, and I know a lot has happened since then, but this is something I wanted to talk about, something that's been on my mind, but, hasn't been discussed on the channel. And this is, the whole thing with Harbaugh going to the NFL. So before I get started, if you're new to the channel, or if you're watching this video, just checking out my stuff, please leave a like on the video. If you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe. It definitely helps out my channel. And to all the people who have just recently subscribed, thank you for subscribing to the channel. So, I've always been a supporter of Harbaugh, even in the down years. I know back in 2020, there was a whole lot of talk about Harbaugh getting fired. I was not one of those people that was down with that. I felt that the team was on the cusp, a few years of at least making the playoffs, and of course losing on the last game of the regular season to Ohio, and of course that make or break game caused them to not make the playoffs. So the team, it's not like they were never competing, and they just had that one, I would say, you can call it a mulligan of a year. And that year was just, you had people that opted out. There was injuries, like you had injuries to your best defensive lineman, offensive lineman, your best middle linebacker, your best wide receiver opted out, your best cornerback opted out. I mean, there was that season was just a mess. And to be honest with you, during that season, it didn't even seem like the players wanted to play. And, they just, it seemed like they were going through the motions. So I understand how people were not feeling Michigan at the time, and people were, on the edge of Coach Harbaugh. But, it was just one of those things where you just had to be patient and wait it out. And look what happened, 1 year later when they turned things around. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, the reason why they were able to turn things around was because of Connor Stallions. And I'm here to tell you, if I haven't already said this in a bunch of videos, I know I have, oh, that's a bunch of crap. There's so much more to how Michigan won than this whole advanced scouting thing. And I'm going to say advanced scouting thing because what drives me nuts is a lot of people on social media are out here saying that the reason why Michigan won is because they cheated because of sign stealing. That just drives me nuts. But anyways, you can look at the real turnaround to Michigan's program. It had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the moves that Coach Harbaugh made during the offseason and the coaching changes that were made. He changed his whole entire coaching staff, got younger, hired guys like Mike Hart and Coach Klink, Ron Bellamy. Got rid of Don Brown and brought in Mike McDonald. And I think obviously to me, the biggest change was getting rid of Don Brown. I mean, Don Brown was one of those guys that, your team defense looks stout, as long as the competition isn't as good as the defense. But if you had an offense and a team that was equal or better talent, we got exposed. With his blitz-heavy, all-or-nothing defense, I'm pretty sure that, it cost us several games just because of just how the scheme was. I still remember what the game that really killed it for me, other than, obviously those Ohio State games, was the game against Michigan State during the COVID year. And like I said, I know it was a down year for us anyways, but how do we lose to Michigan State that just got absolutely hammered the week before? It was just Don Brown with his scheme of blitz, 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 leaving, defenders on an island. Once that change was made and we got to a more solid Ravens-style defense, which has been carrying over, things just turned around for us. But that's not what I'm here to get into. What I'm here to get into is the fact that I'm happy and glad that Coach Harbaugh is gone. Now, I know that sounds ungrateful and it sounds crazy, and I'm torn on the idea of this, and here's why. So I feel as though in a perfect world, we win the championship and everybody stays and we just go on to 2024 and just repeat and, come in with the same staff and it's just business as usual. That would be the perfect storm. But I just had this feeling, and obviously it can't be proven because it didn't happen. But in an alternate universe, say Coach Harbaugh does stay, I think that we lose Coach Moore. Some team out there sees the job that he did in the absence of Harbaugh and plucks him up. Now, I wouldn't even be mad at him for taking that job, wherever that might be. And we lose out on Coach Moore. And then Harbaugh decides he wants to go to the NFL anyways, and we're stuck in a position where we're having to try to find a head coach, and there's slim pickings. So I hate that Harbaugh did go, but I'm happy that he did go from the standpoint of stability for the program. I just got tired of every winter, after the season was over, is Harbaugh going back to the NFL? Oh, Harbaugh's taking a job interview with this NFL team. Oh, he's just doing this for leverage to get a new contract. I mean, who knows if that was the case? I mean, nobody knows for certain except for Harbaugh. But it just killed the momentum of the team as far as recruiting goes, for sure. I mean, how many guys did we turn away or discourage from coming to Michigan just because of the uncertainty? How many guys did we lose even this year in recruiting because of what happened with Harbaugh? I mean, I can already think about at least two. One that was committed, one that was, I'm not going to say going to commit, but was a heavy lean. And, once all the rumors started and once he took the job, all the interest was gone. Now, you can blame NIL for that, but most of that was just due to the uncertainty. So I'm happy that Coach Moore is in because it's going to be stability now. He's locked in. He's ready to take this program, and we don't know how good he's going to be as a coach, obviously. We've seen how he is as on the standpoint of on a game day basis that he can do the job. I get that, but there's more to it as far as being a coach than what you do on game day, or not even on game day, but coaching during the game. Let's not get it twisted. That coaching job that on the, about, well, definitely the last 3 games of the season, and then like the first 3 games of the season, he didn't coach all of them all the way, but in part coach, some of those games at the beginning of the season, and obviously the last 3. But Harbaugh had his fingerprint and footprints from the beginning of the week all the way up until the team walked into the stadium. He was still coaching that team during the week. So, there's going to be a whole lot of changes that are going to come with the program. But I feel as though Harbaugh left the program as as far as the success, everything that he's built up is going to remain relatively the same, even though he took a lot of the coaches with him. And that's another thing I just wanted to bring up while I'm on this topic. A lot of people I saw on social media were upset with Harbaugh for taking the coaches with him, and I don't know why. Now, I understand we want to maintain what we had, but being upset with Harbaugh for taking his coaches with him to the NFL, if you're upset with that, you're a hypocrite. What do I mean by that? We make fun of Ohio State and Crying Ryan Day for being born on third base, for basically taking over a ready-made, perfectly set up situation at Ohio State. We call him the third base coach because of that. But you want to get upset with Harbaugh for taking the coaches? What would Sherrone Moore be if Harbaugh left and left all his coaches and all he did was just take over the program? Wouldn't we just be in the same situation as Ohio State? Wouldn't Sherrone Moore be be born on third base as well? To me, it's the same situation. So I'm glad that Sherrone Moore was able to, for the most part, build his team, his coaches, from the ground up, make them his hires, so that no one can accuse him of being born on third base. No one can accuse him of having a ready-made team that he just took over. This is all him. All of his coaching hires, they're him. This is his footprint on the program. He's going to be able to do things his way, like he's stated. And you're seeing these things happen. I think that as decent as a job, I'm going to say, under Harbaugh with recruiting, I think Michigan is going to be much better on Sherrone Moore's watch. Obviously things started off slow. People were clowning Michigan as far as the recruiting goes. And it just goes back to what I was saying earlier as far as the uncertainty. But now that the staff is in place and things are starting to come together, you're seeing the commits starting to fall into place. And when everything is said and done and the dust settles, I think that this is going to be at least a top 10 class, which is amazing from where it was just less than a month ago. So I think that the program as a whole is in good hands with Sherrone Moore. It's going to be a much more stable situation. No longer is there going to be that easy line of negative recruiting as far as, you don't even know if Harbaugh's going to be the coach next year. All of that's out the window now. So all the focus can go entirely into, the future of the program, into recruiting. If everything is stable, obviously for the most part, you can't control what your assistants do, if they get recommended for head coaching job, then I get it. You're not going to hold on to everybody, but I think that we're in a good position. So that's my take on that. I'm gonna have a video on where I see the program for 2024, how I feel about them, and how successful I think they're going to be for this year. So anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. And as always, if you like the video, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. If you made it this far to the video, please leave a go blue in the comment section below. Funny fact, this hat here, it's about 20 something years old. I was just going through the closet and pulled it out, and now it's like, wow. So, this is definitely the oldest Michigan gear that I have, and I didn't even know I had it. So anyways, like I mentioned before, leave a like on the video if you enjoy my content. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and as always, go blue.